Grand Central Railway is an open access long distance railway company in the UK that's operating its trains between London and the north of England. In this video we'll be taking a Grand Central intercity service between Bradford and London on board of a Class 221 Super Voyager. What it's like to travel on board of these trains, we're all about to find out in this video. Join me on board of this Grand Central intercity train. Grand Central is a commercial railway company and I'm curious how it is to travel on board with their trains. For now, let's get this video on the track and let's roll the intro. Grand Central Railways is operating trains along two routes, between Bradford and London and between Sunderland and London. In this video we'll be taking the train between Bradford and London. The routes between London and Peterborough are basically the same, although this map might say something that looks a little bit different. The other route between Sunderland and London is being served with more daily trains than the route that we'll be taking today. I arrived at Bradford Interchange railway station with a northern service. This train came from Blackpool at the coast and went to York. I took this train from Preston though, so didn't took the entire route. And actually I was really surprised to have this train ride along the countryside of northern England. It's way prettier than I initially thought. Bradford Interchange railway station. Well, it's a true interchange railway station, obviously for changing between different trains. However, it's also a station that is serving the town of Bradford. And to me, railway stations are a big part of a railway journey, so I will also highlight this railway station. Briefly though, this here is what I think I can describe best as the main concourse. You basically find all the facilities you may expect for travelers. There's a travel center where you can buy train tickets, go to for information, there are some vending machines and there are some displays with information about departures. There's nothing much else here apart from that. And even though there are lots of vending machines and there's a nice travel center as well for train tickets, I really have to say that the infrastructure to buy your train tickets online within the UK is really good as well. Although there might be sometimes some specific Rover tickets that can only be bought at the ticket counters or at the travel centers. Well, I'm not digging in that too much. Apart from that, I don't know that much from UK ticketing systems. I do know that it might save you some money if you buy your train tickets more in advance. And for this journey, I was personally traveling with an Interrail. I was guiding a group tour in Switzerland 2 weeks after I shot this, more or less. So I was traveling for really cheap, because basically it was being covered by my boss. The railway station looked a bit turned down, to be honest, when I was here. But when I came at the front of the railway station, it was clear why. They're upgrading this railway station big time and I think this is also needed. I think this is officially the main concourse or so, I don't know, but it's gonna look way prettier in the future. So spending more time on this railway station, I don't think that's worth it. Basically I just walked to the front and walked back again and went to my train. Just like most UK railway stations, at least the bigger ones, you will find access gates over here to go to the platform. However, they did not work with my Interrail pass, so the staff needed to open the gates for me. I really don't know why this doesn't work, simply because Interrail is able to open the access gates within the Netherlands and France, for example. Before you go to the platform, there's a clear screen that will host information about the first upcoming departure, and here on the left is the train that I will take. Actually, I plan to take the train here on the right that is departing 1 hour later. But I had a crazy weekend where I recorded lots of videos when I recorded this. So yeah, if I could be a little bit early in London, that's awesome. Before I enter the train, let's have a quick look at the exterior of the train. Screens do host information about the train number, the carriage number and also the final destination and some stops along the way. The fleet for the Grand Central Railway trains exists of 12 trains. 2 of these trains are the British Rail Class 221 Super Voyager. They are also being used by, for example, cross-country trains. And today we'll be traveling on one of them, and that's the train here on the left. The train on the right is a British Rail Class 180 Adelante. Those trains are much more common for Grand Central, obviously, because they have 10 of those trains and 2 of the trains that we'll be taking today. Apart from the screens at the side of the train, the bicycle area has been marked crystal clear as well, but there is not that much being marked like what can be found where. And simply because the standard class in the UK is being mentioned as second class anywhere else, but in the UK this is standard, so why should you mention this separately? And apart from that, in terms of facilities, these trains don't have that much. Obviously, you will find the information about what carriage numbers are where, like I already mentioned before, and the first class have been mentioned extra as well at the side of the train, simply because the first class is something different. And apart from the digital displays that will host the carriage numbers, or in the UK I should say carriage letters, the carriage letters have also been marked at the entrance doors. Also, the special disabled area has been mentioned, but as you can see, there's no level boarding on these trains, so if you're traveling in a wheelchair, you need to ask for assistance. Before we go to the interior of the train, let's have a close look on the environmental impact if you're traveling on this route by train, car and plane. The train is by far the fastest option on this route, by the way, with a travel time of about 2 hours and 52 minutes. Where the car needs 3 hours and 48 minutes. And if you travel by plane, what, believe it or not, was also an option on this route when I looked for the travel times, you need also 3.5 hours. So the train is the absolutely winner in travel time and especially on the environmental impact. And it's also much more comfortable. You just sit back, relax and enjoy the ride. I hope you like this video so far. Sorry for interrupting you, but if you like it or if it's a helpful video to you, please give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate that. And if you'd like to see more trip reports about more sustainable ways of transportation, the main focus for this channel is cross-bordering and long-distance traveling, then hit that subscribe button if you haven't done this already. For now, let's head into the train. As I was traveling in first class, I start off by showing you the first class first. Even though statistically most likely if you're traveling in one of these trains you would be traveling in second class. There's a special area for people traveling in a wheelchair and this is quite spacious. Information about the route has been given on simple LED screens at the end of the compartments. For luggage, you obviously find the overhead luggage racks, but don't miss out on the space between the back ends of the seats if you find that. Apart from that, at the end of this carriage there's also another dedicated luggage rack. All seats do have a reading light and all windows do have a sunscreen. The first class is located in coach E. At the moment you have the airline style seats. There are sturdy tables on the seats in front of you. And, well, I don't like the fact you cannot pop this up. Reservations have been given on papers at the headrests. However, there are some screens that could be holding the information about the reservation as well, but they didn't work. I like this much more. You can pop up these tables for the aisle seats if you have the 2 seats next to each other. And at the sides you will find a 3-pin power socket. First class comes just like anywhere in the UK with some extra service. At the moment you enter the train, you'll find a bottle of water. Although I just filled up my own bottle with tap water because, well, that's creating way less plastic waste. And there are complimentary extras as well. You just need to scan the QR code on the table and then it will be brought to you from the dining car. For this you need to be connected to the onboard Wi-Fi system, what works pretty well I have to say. Seats in first class can be reclined with the button at the side. In coach E, where also the first class is located, you will find a bigger accessible toilet. What makes sense really, because it's right next to the accessible area of the first class. And this is the toilet. Pretty fine, nothing really special, and like always, if you're traveling with a little baby, you can use this as well for a baby change. Litter bins are located at the vestibules of these trains, and at the moment you walk through the train, it's been clearly marked in what coach you are. Standard class comes just like in most European trains in a 2x2 configuration, so 2 seats on both sides of the aisle. And in coach D, what is close to the first class as well, there's also something like a dining car. Well, it's not really a dining car, it's more like a kind of a cafeteria where you can order some food and snacks. It's not very big, but it's nice that it's there. Journeys on board of the Grand Central trains don't take that long, but these are still long distance trains. Now let's move on to the rest of the second class. The carriage that is closest to the dining car thus hosts quite a lot of seats facing each other with a table in between, but if I move on to the rest of the standard class, you find more airline style seats, and personally I like that much more. Unless you travel with a group of 4 or 3, then the seats facing each other are way nicer. In the standard class, you obviously also find the overhead luggage racks for your luggage. But apart from that, you also have the dedicated luggage racks at the end of the compartments. At the moment that I moved through the train, I basically noticed that all toilets are accessible toilets. What's really nice, but confused me a little bit, because you won't find the accessible area everywhere in the train. However, in coach A in standard class, you do find the accessible area, and this is rather big. The accessible area is more or less the same size as in the first class. I haven't done a seat review of the standard class seats, so I think it's about time to do that as well right now. And for this I really have to mention, I'm really a tall boy, I'm way taller than average, so it might look tighter than it is. The legroom is for that reason okay-ish. There's a small but sturdy fold-out table in the seat in front of me. I can't recline these seats. At the side is a British 3-pin power socket. All windows do have a sunscreen, and just like in first class, you will also find a reading light above all seats. For the seats facing each other, there's a bigger table between the seats, and you can make this slightly bigger. The top speed for these trains is 200 km per hour, what is more or less 125 miles per hour. And these trains do host 246 seats. I didn't put the bicycle area good on camera, but that's located at the other side of the train, just beyond the standard class carriage. Between Bradford and Pontefract, the train is not going that fast and is serving many stations. However, from Pontefract the train is heading onto the main line, and we'll call it Doncaster, Peterborough, and then go straight to London. For the last bit of the video, I'll just show you some views from the train between Bradford and London, and I'll get back to you at the very end of this video. So that's it on board of this Grand Central Intercity train. I hope you liked this video, or this has been a helpful video to you. If so, please give me a thumbs up, I really appreciate that. If you have some questions or feedback, let me know in the comment section. You can also find me in the social, pop up on the top right of the screen now. And if you'd like to see more trip reports about more sustainable ways of transportation, and the main focus for this channel is long distance and or international traveling, then hit that subscribe button if you haven't done this already. Before we really end up this video, one last thing. Thank you for watching. If you are interested in other videos, of course you can find them on this channel. And something else you find in the description of this video is a link to a map, and on this map you can find all videos as well, but then on a map. And of course I'm creating more content, so more lines will be added. See you on the next video.